If you went up to a random person on the street and said, "How many Pikmin games are there?" they probably wouldn't know what Pikmin is, but if they did know, they would say 4. While that might seem like the correct answer, it's not, as there have been several spin-offs and really strange games released revolving around the Pikmin franchise. Most of these are on the World Wide Web, but a few of them were actually released on console. All of these are official and they can be quite wacky, and this video will be taking a look at some of the strangest officially licensed Pikmin games that exist. Before we delve into these, be sure to subscribe for high quality Pikmin videos weekly. The very first of these strange Pikmin games released in November of 2001 and was made to promote Pikmin 1 on the GameCube. It's known as Pikmin.com Spaceforce. To participate in this game, users would have to register an account and they would be given a personality quiz to help determine what type of Pikmin they are. You could either be a blue, red, or yellow Pikmin, and the answers you chose in this quiz decide which one you are. Now these are really basic questions. They're like those career testing things at school where they ask you things like, do you like engineering? And when you say yes, it tells you that you should be an engineer. When you were finished the quiz and given your type of Pikmin, your task was to go on different websites and click on PNGs of Peliposes to earn points. The amount of points earned by each team would be tracked on a leaderboard on the website. There really didn't seem to be a point to this, as there was no prizes handed out. You were just collecting points to help your team be at the top of the leaderboard. Most of the websites that contained the pellets that you needed to get points were websites for other Nintendo products, so this thing was really just a ploy to get you to view advertisements. This whole thing was basically just Nintendo's version of beans. Nobody wants their own version of beans. Now, if any of you watching this wanted to indulge in this absolutely riveting game, you sadly can't, as nowadays it's considered to be
say the line, Bart!
lost media. It was taken down fairly quick as well, being shut down in early 2002. Now despite that game being shut down relatively early, it must have been an absolute smash hit, as they did a very similar thing for Pikmin 2's release called Pikmin Treasure Hunt. That's basically the exact same gameplay. You would go to different websites and collect treasures. There were no teams this time, and there actually was somewhat of a point, as the first 100 people to finish the hunt would be gifted free Pikmin plushies, and everyone after that would get desktop wallpapers. Now this one is a little more interesting, as it utilized Nintendo's official forum website Insider along with the game. There was some guy LARPing as the president and another one as the ship who would drop clues on where to find the treasures. There was also Nintendo of America Matt, who ruled the treasure hunt with an iron fist. Hello insiders, Matt here. We're going to launch a blog of sorts written by Hoctay Transportation Company's own president. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is Hoctay Transportation, you ask? None other than that spacefaring junk hauling corporation Captain Olimar Pikmin fame belongs to. Yes, ma'am. Read up on the communiques from Olimar himself, plus Hoctate's other unfortunate employee, Louis, who you'll come to know intimately in Pikmin 2. The treasure hunt actually had some rules. Sharing hints on how to get treasures on the forums was strictly forbidden. To our hunters, the boards are being reviewed with a fine-tooth comb. If any hints are discovered, they will be deleted, as will the entire thread they are placed in. Good? Good. Apparently this web game was a complete fucking disaster, as several children can be seen complaining about technical difficulties and how their Pikmin would get stuck while collecting the treasures. This game is exclusive to Northern America, but Europe got their own version called Pikmin 2 Virtual World, which has zero information about it online. This game also told us about Louis' apparent wife, which is the only time Louis having a wife is ever mentioned, and I doubt that she is even canon anymore. These games were pretty interesting, and I liked reading the pretty bizarre forum posts. Anyways, I mentioned that you had to do a personality test to sign up for Pikmin Spaceforce. Well, it turns out that there's still this really old Pikmin 2 personality test that is still online. And by still online, I don't mean archived, no, I mean Nintendo is still actively paying to keep this dinky personality test online, even if it only gets accessed a whopping 3 times a month by the most dedicated Pikmin dweebs. The layout really shows its age, and it still has Nintendo Wii branding, so I'm assuming this was made to advertise the new Play Control port of Pikmin 2. You fill out a bunch of questions and it tells you what Pikmin 2 character you are most similar to. The test is in Japanese, so you have to auto-translate it, which can lead to some really bizarre answers. How do you live? I live, pounding. What is your favorite game? I mean, my username should make this one pretty obvious. Also listen, there's getting really obscure characters in the game that show up once, and then there's telling people they have the personality of the beady longlegs. Like, what does that even mean? He's a spider. I guess the pounding answer makes a bit more sense now. I'll leave the link to this in the description of the video if you want to try it out. They also did a personality test for Pikmin Bloom. It's basically a much more modern version of the Pikmin 2 one. You answer questions, get another personality result. I thought that this quiz would assign a Pikmin you were similar to, but no, it compares your personality to a flower. Doesn't make any sense at all. I'm pretty sure the developers of Pikmin Bloom saw that the Pikmin had flowers on their head and that the logo for Pikmin in Smash Bros is a flower, and just assumed all Pikmin fans start pulling down their trousers whenever they see a geranium. They do the exact same flower thing in the actual mobile game as well, it's insane. The questions here are also pretty silly. What's your favourite season to enjoy flowers? Don't you just look at flowers? I don't think there's like a specific season where looking at flowers gets actively more enjoyable. All of the games we have talked about here are web games, but let's talk about an actual game that was playable on a Nintendo device. That game is Photos with Pikmin for the Nintendo 3DS. The game itself was free, but you would need cards to actually use it, and you got these cards by purchasing physical eShop vouchers. When you received these cards, you could scan them with the app, and the Pikmin would become real, and you could take photos with Pikmin. If you pulled out one of those AR cards that came pre-bone with the 3DS, you can spawn in a Bulborb, and he does eat Pikmin. The model for him also looks pretty impressive for the 3DS, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure if you could do the same thing as the AR app, where instead of using physical cards, you just put a picture of them on your phone, and if that worked for this game, you would basically be able to pirate the whole experience. This seems like a relatively fun distraction. I probably would have liked this as a kid, but it was exclusive to Japan. I remember there was a similar thing released in Europe, but it was for the more niche franchise known as Mario. Also, this section reminded me of how much stuff came pre-bundled with the 3DS. Anyone remember Face Raiders? That used to be banging. The cards are similar to the e-reader cards that let you play minigames on the Japanese version of Pikmin 2. Those aren't being talked about here as they could fill up an entire video and I don't want to skim over them, so stay tuned I guess. Anyways, heading back to the World Wide Web, we have Play Nintendo, which offers a multitude of Pikmin activities. Some of these games are absolutely jaw-dropping experiences that may leave even the most qualified Dandori masters wiping sweat off of their brow. The Pikmin page starts off with a list of friends. Some of these are pretty debatable. I mean, Louis is a friend, but like not in the sense of an ally. I'd say he's an enjoyable, morally grey individual, and the Bulborb is most certainly not a friend at all. Starting off, we have this jigsaw puzzle. I don't get why people say that Pikmin 2 is the hardest game in the franchise when stuff like this is out there. You connect all the pieces to form the PNG of the Pikmin 4 front cover. There's also one of these for Hey Pikmin and Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I spent 10 hours cracking this conundrum, and the video footage took 2 terabytes off of my hard drive. Now, I'm not asking for anything, I'm just saying no other Pikmin YouTuber would go through these horrifical lengths to provide a factual report to the people. There's also more personality tests. I've taken more of these for this video than I ever have in my life. Also, again with these absolutely abhorrent questions, nobody ever says they want to be good at lighting up a room. Then they literally just ask what color matches your personality. Like, why even have a fucking quiz at this point? Overall, this website is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Pikmin games. I mean, that's okay, it's Play Nintendo. It would be pretty foolish of me to expect some Pikmin 4 rivaling masterpiece to be hosted here. The games are pretty okay, I guess. They're the type of things you'd play on the computers in primary school when all of the actually good game websites got blocked. Stage Debut is a pretty interesting game. First of all, it never came out, and second, it's not really a Pikmin game, but it did feature them. This game was scrapped, but concepts of it were reused to create the Mii Maker and potentially Tamagotchi Life. Now, the main reason I bring it up is because some of these gameplay screenshots are actually hysterical. There's these human characters that look like they recycled models from LSD Dream Simulator, and then there's the Pikmin, which despite being only like an inch tall, they're just the exact same height as everyone else, and they're sitting down in a school, studying, eating lunch, getting pushed on swings. This looks like somebody goofing off in Gary's Mod, not something Nintendo would officially release. There's also this screenshot of Captain Olimar in a playground. Now, this game was scrapped, but I honestly wish it came out. I would probably actually like it, and seeing human-sized Pikmin doing extremely normal activities is pretty funny. Finally, we have the Pikmin Finder. This is technically the newest installment in the Pikmin franchise, and it's a mobile web game. I haven't really played it myself, as it runs like a broken down car on my phone, so unfortunately I haven't been able to experience it. We're using this guy's footage, and for some reason he's playing in the smallest section of his house, so the Pikmin just fucking delve into drywall to collect things. That was actually a pretty common criticism of this game. If the space you were playing in was too small, you just had Pikmin constantly delving into walls and stuff, and it wasn't really good for immersion. Anyways, this game is made by Niantic, the same team behind Pikmin Bloom and Pokemon Go. Gameplay loop is pretty simple. You look around to find sprouts to pluck, and then you send those Pikmin out to find treasures with a button. This game also has Ice and Glow Pikmin, which is funny because Pikmin Bloom still doesn't have them, but this game does. You can also unlock Ochi at some point, who appears to be really big. The game seems to take around half an hour to complete, and a large portion of this is spent on one treasure, the Crimson Blanket. You spend an agonizing amount of time grinding up Pikmin for this treasure. You get around 3 sprouts every minute, so yeah, it takes quite a while. This game just appears to be really bare bones and pretty simple, and it seems like it would get old after around 5 minutes, and it would definitely get old during the grind for the Crimson Banquet. I saw some people in the comment sections of videos on this game suggest that I get merged with the Pikmin Bloom app, which I think is a good idea. It would give Pikmin Bloom a bit more fluff, which it kinda needs. Anyways, that concludes these strange officially licensed Pikmin games. A lot of these frankly weren't very good games, and I couldn't even play most of them, but they aren't offensively bad. They're just kinda harmless filler for advertising, and it was fun looking through these. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for high quality Pikmin videos weekly, and I'll see you when I finish this fucking jigsaw puzzle. Why are these so hard?